Hello, you are watching my YouTube channel. I'm your host, kamranarshad. Today, I have invited a guest in my vlog, and I'm going to discuss about her life, her field, her visions, her goals as well. So, let me introduce him, who is with me right now today, and we will discuss him a lot of things. So today we have the pleasure of chatting with Elphas lagat, a seasoned journalist, media consultant, and voiceover artist. Welcome. Can you share a bit about your journey and how you have navigated these diverse roles? Elphas.
Thank you so much, Kamran. Thank you for having me. As you've mentioned, I'm a journalist. I've worked for a couple of years, both for media stations in my home country, Kenya, as well as the international media space. I worked for the BBC. With years about going to 7 years now, because I started practice around 2015 as an intern. 2016, I got to learn about documentary production. And then 2017, 2018, that's when I was actively in the media, mainstream media, now reporting on different stories. I've reported on health, on politics, human interest, you name them. Yeah.
Okay, Elphas, could you please share any experience, any experience what you have done in your journalism right now so far?
Yeah, I've had numerous experiences, Kamran. As I mentioned to you, I've been an all-rounded journalist. There are instances where I've reported on terror attacks back in Kenya. I've embedded the army in Somalia. So I would say, being a journalist, you have many different experiences. One day, you would be doing, a press conference in the comfort of an office. The other one, you could be at the battlefront. So my experiences have been, one extreme to the other extreme, if we are to say so. I know along the way also I've honed the ability of doing voiceovers, and voiceovers in this sense would be commercials. Sometimes I would get clients that want narration for documentaries. Sometimes also picking the right channel to place your ad or commercial. Could be radio, could be social media or TV. Yeah, so that in essence, in a nutshell, Kamran, is my experience.
Okay, all right. Okay, could you please tell us, so with the diverse skill sets spanning journalism, media consulting, and voiceover work, how do you find synergy between these roles, and how does each aspect contribute to your overall professional identity?
Well, Kamran, at the initial stages, obviously, when you're starting out, you do internship for a media house, and then progressively you become a journalist, a senior reporter. You could decide to go into the field of investigative journalism. There are people who would want to be business journalists. For my case now, I realized, I've been voicing stories all through for all these many years now. It's perhaps time to try and diversify a bit, because you will agree with me that times are changing, media houses are changing their structures. And so it's also incumbent on journalists to try and add value, to have better value proposition in the market. And so I realized I could do voiceovers on the side. And so you just have to be intentional so that you don't have a conflict of interest, especially if you're tied to an employer. And so that's how I started out on voiceovers. And you simply have to start maybe with small commercials, maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 45 seconds, as you graduate slowly to longer version, long form documentary narration. Media consultancy, whenever, companies have events and they want press conferences, you can easily, as a journalist, you have the knowledge of press releases, and so
Exactly.
that comes in as a consultancy area. So you'd get a client telling you, could you help me with getting media, inviting media to this event? Um, Sometimes could you moderate a certain event, a small event, or could you come in as a panelist for a certain discussion? So being a media consultant is it's a broad range of things that you could do.
So, all right. Elvis, did you find any difficulty in journalism, especially when you are doing investigative journalism? And if you find any difficulty, then how's your experience? How to deal with that difficulty?
Kamran, like any other field, there will be challenges and difficulties that you'll face.
Yeah, yeah.
Investigative, I didn't do a lot of investigative journalism, but I'll tell you, when you're reporting on conflicts, you're reporting on things that are happening. It's a terror attack that is going on at one point. Safety comes to mind first because, you could be in the line of fire. So
Yeah.
again, there is that aspect of trying to adjust and be able to learn how to report in hostile environments. So there's always that desire for journalists to have the scope. You want to tell the audiences the situation in real event as it happens, but you have to be very alive to your own security. And so it's better even to miss out on the story but be safe. Yeah. But again, it's a balance of things. So you really have to be intentional on how are you going to make sure that you're safe. So one of the things is listen to the security experts who are there. If they are soldiers, if they are police officers, you have to work hand in hand with them, so that as the operations are going on, you're also within the confines of safety. So when I went to Somalia back in 2019, when I reported on cases of demonstrations back in Nairobi, always, first there'll be the safety equipment, whether it's the helmet, whether it's the vest, you have to don those. And also, at least for identification purposes, you have your press tag on your chest or some form of identification if you like. And so also working hand in hand with security experts just to assure your own safety.
Okay, as journalists, we have to definitely we have to bear. I mean, we have to bear criticism from the people, right? If we are reporting, if
Correct.
we are doing journalism. So, what is your experience so far? How do you manage your criticism? If someone criticizes you in front of you, or uh, he is in back and criticizing you about your policies, about your content, so how do you manage this thing? Because as journalists, it's our responsibility to deal with the paper in a professional and polite way.
It is true, Kamran, and that is why one of the core values of journalism is impartiality. You have to always be balanced. You have to tell both sides of the story and be alive to our own biases, whether conscious or subconscious. So at all times, you have to try and tell both sides of the story. The criticism would be there, and
Yeah.
in a way, criticism enables you to learn and be better, and better your trade. Sometimes they are constructive criticism, and sometimes it's just criticism for the sake of it. But feedback again is feedback. So when you are impartial, you know that you're telling your facts, you have your facts right, and you're not relying on hearsay, then you have no problem. You can continue telling your stories. So it's just a balance. Just make sure as a journalist, and that has always been my guiding principle, to have all the facts. Have you verified your sources? Are your sources reputable? Sources that can back what you're saying, because defamation is also there. You don't want going on air and publishing something that you realize, oh, this was incorrect. And sometimes we do make mistakes.
Yeah.
Kamran will agree that sometimes mistakes do happen. And it is incumbent on journalists always to admit whenever there is a mistake, because again,
Okay. Did you admit if you made any kind of mistake? Do you have a courage to
myself,
apology on that thing?
sorry, myself.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you admit if you have done any mistake?
if I've done a mistake, well, I remember there's a time it was factually incorrect in a way. There is a former Attorney General for Kenya who had passed on, and then for some reason he used to call himself Sir somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was really popular at that time for him to be called Sir somebody. Yeah, let me not mention the name. And so in my report, it just said during the recruitment mass of Sir somebody, then one person called and said that's factually incorrect. The guy was not knighted, and for you to be knighted maybe by the Queen of England, that's when you're officially get that designation, sir. So it was just more of an alias, yeah. And you know, on my end, I'm confidently saying, sir, somebody. So yeah, I mean, it was a minor incorrect bit of info, but it does happen in the media.
Yeah, actually,
Media.
if you are doing journalism, so it's a part of the journalism, right?
It's part of the work.
Okay, Alphas, tell us your involvement in teaching a master class on innovation and entrepreneurship for journalists is intriguing, right? Can you elaborate on the key principles you emphasize to equip journalists with entrepreneurial skills, especially in an ever-evolving media landscape?
Kamran, thank you for that. 2021 October to 2022 October 1 year residency program that we had as the first cohort at Aga Khan University. It's the master class into entrepreneurship and innovation for journalists. We realized that we have to evolve every day, and that involves learning better ways of storytelling. The main take home from that residency program was using human-centered design in our storytelling, that you have to identify, it has to really be audience-centric, the story that you're telling, especially when you're talking of people stories, you're talking of sports. You know, at the end of the day, there are people behind the figures, you know, the numbers. Who are the people behind this? So it's always really nuancing that story so that it resonates with the people that you intend to, the audiences that you are targeting for that. So if it is SMEs, small and medium enterprises, have you identified the challenges that they go through? Is there maybe an 18-year-old or a 22-year-old young person, a lady that is trying to get into a certain business, and what are the challenges that they are facing? What are the opportunities that are available for them? So it's all about human-centered design in storytelling. That is the aspect that you know, we learned from that residency program in that masterclass, that at all times the audience should be at the center of your storytelling, so that it's driven by a central character. Let's see the story through the lenses of, say, Kamran, and then for how what is your viewpoint for the story that we want to tell, the issue that we are talking about. So that was it. And the other bit was also just you know, we are alive to the era of artificial intelligence. There are people who are scared, and of course, it's normal for people to feel, is artificial intelligence coming to take over our jobs? There is opportunity, especially in the case of the media now, to try and leverage AI to really better, you know, our content production, yeah, how we tell stories. You know, for these automated, you know, data-driven stories and routine stories, we can have AI that is trained to do those stories, yeah, because gradually AI is evolving, and we'll get to a point that AI is really powerful and it thinks ahead of time. So can we then have automated content creation that AI can do it, so that we are viewing artificial intelligence as an opportunity instead of a serious competitor? So, you know, if AI handles repetitive and task data-driven stories, then journalists can really focus on more complex and stories that require nuancing. You know, there is a way that, Kamran, you'll tell a story in your own perspective that is so unique to you that you know, AI cannot replicate that. So that bit of automated content creation, we can have the AI coming in to do that. You know, personalization. AI technologies can help in personalizing content creation. AI can help us to understand the preferences of audiences. You know, so AI can tell what does Kamran and you know, your group like, for example. How do you like your stories to be delivered at that very individual level? So you can imagine what it does to segments of the audiences. So it can really help to be ahead of the trends and help us in you know, telling our stories
All
better.
right. Or Alphas, don't you think AI, artificial intelligence, actually breaks our intelligence? We actually gonna depend on AI.
I don't think we fully, you know, will depend on AI.
Okay, this is the point,
And
right? Okay, you got my
yeah,
question actually I was talking about.
yeah, because you remember the days that we didn't have ways of transmitting stories, and you had to carry video footage in a tape. You know,
Right,
I'd say I had not started practice back then, but I hear around 2005, 2007. If journalists, video journalists, reporters have gone to a certain place, they've recorded footage, then someone had to hold, the tape and really rush it very quickly to the newsroom,
right.
so that they are now able to download the footage again and then use it for editing and all those things. Over
Okay,
time, it changed. We have
okay.
we have tech that allows you to transmit the footage direct from the field to the office almost in an instant.
All
So
right.
if we think in that way with AI, I don't think we will come to a point where we're saying we are fully reliant on AI. We can use it to better, the way that we tell stories. Yeah.
Okay, Elphas, tell me, what is your specialty? I mean, there are a lot of bits. Do you work in any special bit like health, course, universities, or politics? What is your
Yeah.
special bit of journalism?
Yeah. As I told you earlier, Kamran, initially I really wanted to be all rounded, but I lean
Uh,
more towards health reporting,
Health importance, right?
BBC reporting. Yeah, reported for health.
So we can say that health is your bit, right?
Yeah, health is more of my bit.
Okay, okay, Alphas, tell us voiceover work requires a unique set of skills, right? How do you adapt your voice to convey different tones and emotions? And how has this skill complemented or influenced your work in journalism and media consulting?
Take that again, Kamran.
I'm asking about the voiceover work, right? Voiceover requires a
A
unique set of
voiceover.
skills, right? So how do you adapt your voice to convey
Yeah.
different tones and emotions?
Yeah, I mean, like everything else, tonality, when even you're giving a speech, you cannot have a monotone all through. You have to vary your intonation, you have to vary your emphasis. So it's the same thing also for voiceover. You'd find a voiceover that is about an exciting bit, win a particular trip to Qatar, something like that. So you have to echo that emotion, sort of live in that moment. You
Yeah,
cannot just read it and just give it away. So you have to first internalize what the voiceover is all about.
yeah.
Then
If
you
I'm
are able
watching
to
a
convey
football
it in
match, then
emotion.
your voice would be excited, right?
Yeah. For example, like in a
Exactly.
match, you'll
Yeah,
be
exactly.
excited. Yeah,
Exactly. And
exactly.
if you're
Yeah,
watching the match and telling us that there is a football match, a lot of players are there. There are spectacular. So the match, the people who are watching the match, they will get bored, right? If your tone is
exactly.
done.
Yeah, imagine. Or even, for example, let's say Kylian Mbappe is about to score a goal, and you're saying he there takes the ball, he's about to score, he
Yeah,
now dribbles, he
yeah,
has scored, it's a goal. It's very flat. But you see the
yeah.
way
Like boring
those
commentators.
commentators really they live in the moment. Even if you're
Okay.
not watching on TV, if you're
Yeah,
listening it on radio, you can almost visualize it. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not
Fair.
about living that moment and
Uh,
enabling us to feel that experience with you.
it is
Yeah.
actually the responsibility of the journalist, right? How to present the
Yep.
thing in front of the people.
It is. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, again, and this is a skill set that you
And
learn
you are
over
aware
time. You
of
have to
this.
yeah, you have to practice until you get it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Alphas, the media landscape is rapidly changing day by day. How do you stay ahead of industry trends and how do you integrate innovative approaches into your journalism and media consulting practices?
What I do, Kamran, is compare notes with people from different parts of the world.
Mm,
If you're in Pakistani, learn what people in Afghan are doing. If you're in Afghan, learn from Japan.
yeah,
If you're in Japan, learn from UK. If you're in UK, learn about Kenya, Nigeria. So it's about comparing notes with colleagues from all over the continent,
right.
reading books, doing research, and also just connecting with people on these platforms that we have, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Twitter, you know, by exchanging notes and conversing with a lot of people really
Right.
helps us to stay ahead of the game, and being intentional about what you want to learn. For example, the intersection of AI and journalism has been a very interesting area for so many people. So if you look out for that, you definitely will be able to learn what is happening, what to anticipate, how to adjust, and all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Fair enough. Okay, thank you, Elphas Daggett, for providing valuable insights into your multifaceted career. It's been a pleasure having you here, and we look forward to seeing your continued success in the realism of journalism, media consulting as well, and voiceover work. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, Kamran. Thank you for having me. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a good day. Thank you. Take care.
All
Bye.
right. All right.